فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. إخوة الإسلام عباد الله. We have an authentic narration that is collected by Imam Muslim in his Sahih, and it is upon the authority of Abu Malik Harith ibn Asim al-Ash'ari Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayh, in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he stated, "At-tuhur shatr al-iman, walhamdulillah tamla'u al-mizan, wa-subhanallah walhamdulillah تملأان ما بين السماوات والأرض والصلاة نور والصدقة برهان يعني والصبر ضياء والقرآن حجة لك أو عليك كل الناس يغدو فبايع نفسه فمعتقها أو موبقها." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stated, "At-tuhur is half a faith." It is half a faith. And alhamdulillah, the statement, alhamdulillah, it fills the scales of one's good deeds. As the statement, alhamdulillah, what is intended by this, as Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi explains, وصف المحمود بالكمال مع التعظيم والمحبة. It is described in the one that is being praised with perfection, along with exaltation and love. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stated after that, the statement Subhanallah and Alhamdulillah, they fill that which is between the heavens and the earth. The statement Subhanallah, what is intended by this? Tanzihullah an kulli naqsin wa aib, declaring Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to be far above every defect or blemish. That this statement in Alhamdulillah, they fill that which is between the heavens and the earth. And the salah or the prayer, it is a light. Sadaqah is evidence. Patience is illumination. And the Quran is a proof for or against you. And every soul wakes up and starts his day off as a vendor for himself. As a result, he either liberates himself or he destroys himself. Either liberates or destroys himself. Ikhwatul Islam ibadallah. In this particular narration, there are an abundance of benefit. However, what we like to touch on during this brief duration is the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he stated, "At-tuhur shatr al-iman." And as Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin, he states, "At-tuhur yani bi dhamm at-ta bi ma'na at-tahara." The at-tuhur, what is intended by it is at-tahara or purification. That purification is half of deen. And we know that purification, يعني الطهارة تنقسم إلى قسمين. That it is divided into two types. الطهارة الظاهرة والطهارة الباطنة. It is divided into يعني outward purification and inward purification. What is intended by outward purification and nidhafa, cleanliness, being clean. What is intended by inward purification is that which is connected to the heart, purifying one's heart as it relates to worship to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Yani having ikhlas or sincerity, making one's acts of worship purely, strictly, solely, or sincerely for Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala alone. And there is an abundance of evidence in both the Quran and the Sunnah for both types of tahara. When looking out at outward purification, then we have some statements in the Quran and some statements in the Sunnah. from the statement of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuhal muddathir, kun fa'andir, wa rabbaka fakabbir, wa thiyabaka fatahhir. O you wrapped in garments, stand and mourn, and exalt your Lord, and purify your garments. And purify your garments. And Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, He says, وَيُنَزِّلُ عَلَيْكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً لِيُطَهِّرَكُم بِهِ. And He has sent down from the sky rain, so that you all may be purified by way of it. That you may be purified by way of it. And we have in the Sunan of Ibn Majah, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, the hadith of Aisha, ridwanullahi ta'ala alayha, in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he stated, Ashrun min al-fitra, that 10 things are from the natural disposition of man. And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he stated, قص الشارب وإعفاء اللحية والسواك والاستنشاق بالماء وقصف الأظفار. Yani trimming the mustache and letting the beard flow, meaning letting the beard grow. As siwak, and we will take a look at what is intended by siwak shortly. Cleaning the nasal passage with water, clipping the fingernails short, وغسل البراجم, and washing the knuckles, ونقف الإبط, وحلق الأعنى, وانتقاص بالماء يعني الاستنجاء, and plucking the underarm hairs, shaving the pubic hairs, and cleaning oneself with water after using the bathroom. In this particular narration, the Prophet ﷺ stated that there were 10 things that were from the fitrah. However, he only mentioned 9. But in the hadith of Abi Hurairah, which is muttafaqun alayh, he mentions khamsun min al-fitrah, 5 things are from the fitrah, and mentioned 4 things that were mentioned in the previous hadith, and the 5th that was not in the previous hadith. Al-khitan, or circumcision. He mentions al-khitan, or circumcision. Ikhwat al-Islam ya ibadallah, when looking at this particular narration, then we see that the things that are mentioned either prevent impurities or remove impurities. Thus, it is not befitting that a Muslim, neither man nor woman, have long fingernails, but they should be clipped or cut short. It is not befitting for a Muslim, neither man nor woman, that they have a bush under their armpits, or that they allow their pubic hairs to grow, and thus forth and so on. But one should safeguard cleanliness in this regard. Likewise, we have in the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the hadith of Abi Hurairah, which is muttafaqun alayh, in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stated, لَوْلَا أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَى أُمَّتِي لَأَمَرْتُهُمْ بِالسِّوَاكِ فَإِنَّ كُلِّ صَلَاةٍ. If it was not for the fact that it would be made difficult upon my nation, then I would have commanded them with the siwak at the time of every prayer. I would have commanded them with the siwak at the time of every prayer. As Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he states, as-siwak yudliqu ala al-ala allati yatasawwaqu biha wa ala al-fi'l. He states that the term siwak, it is applied to the device that is used to clean the teeth. Likewise, it is applied to the actual action of cleaning the teeth. For this reason, a large portion of the scholars of Islam, past and present, stated what was intended by this particular narration is not the device that is used to clean the teeth, but the actual action of cleaning the teeth. In other words, if it would not have been difficult upon the ummah of Muhammad, then the Prophet ﷺ would have commanded us to clean our teeth at the time of every salah. Encouraging with cleanliness. Encouraging with cleanliness. Because it is half of faith. It is half of faith. So much so that the Prophet ﷺ, he even spoke about an individual being punished for not guarding himself from impurities. As this is found in the hadith of Ibn Abbas, in which he stated, مَرَّ النَّبِي صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ بِقَبْرَيْنِ, that the Prophet ﷺ, he passed by two graves. فَقَالَ إِنَّهُمَا يُعَذِّبَانِ, indeed these two individuals are being punished. وَمَا يُعَذِّبَانِ فِي كَبِيرٍ, but they are not being punished for something major. They are not being punished for something major in the sight of the people, but it is considered a major sin. And then he mentioned two things. فَأَمَّا أَحَدَهُمَا فَكَانَ لَا يَسْتَتِرُ مِنَ الْبَوْلِ. As for the first of the two, then he did not protect himself from being soiled with urine. انظروا يا عباد الله. He did not protect himself from impurities. وَأَمَّا الْآخَرُ فَكَانَ يَمْشِي بِالنَّمِيمَةِ. And as for the other, then he used to go around tail carrying and the likes, as a result causing rancor or dissension between brothers. قال الحافظ ابن حجر الأسقلاني, as it relates to this hadith, وَفِيهِ التَّحْذِيرُ مِنْ مَلَابَسَةِ الْبَوْلِ. In this particular narration, there is a prohibition from wearing garments that are soiled with urine. This particular narration, it points to the obligation of izalat al-najasa in the absolute sense. It points to the obligation of removing impurities in the absolute sense. خلافا لمن خص الوجوب بوقت إرادة الصلاة. In khilaf, or in contradiction to those that state that the obligation is at the time that one wishes to pray. That he should only remove impurities at the time that he desires to pray. Rather, this narration points to or indicates that the Muslim should be diligent in removing impurities regardless if they plan on praying or not. For this reason, Ya Ibadallah, and I say to the parents of the masjid, Ittaqullah fi awladikum. Fear Allah as it relates to your children, and teach them the proper etiquettes as it relates to the masjid for being clean. It is not appropriate that one desires to use the bathroom and then finds the bathroom or the toilet soiled with urine. And I can only assume that this is coming from the children. I will hope that no grown man would leave the toilets like this. Thus I state that it is incumbent upon us to teach the children how to be clean. No one would wish or desire to use the bathroom, and when coming to the bathroom, find the toilets soiled with impurity. Fear Allah as it relates to your children, and teach them the importance of this aspect of their deen. Walhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya wal-mursaleen, Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. The Prophet ﷺ, he stated, at-tuhur shatr al-iman, that purity is half of faith. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Utaymin, he states, ذلك أن الإيمان تخلى وتحلى. That is because al-iman, or faith in Islam, it is relinquishment or abandonment of something, and it is to adorn oneself with something. أما التخلي فهو التخلي عن الإشراك لأن الشرك بالله نجاسة. As for relinquishment or abandonment of something, then it is abandoning polytheism. Because associating a partner in worship with Allah is an impurity. It is a filth. And this is as it relates to the inward cleanliness or the inward purification. And then he quotes the statement of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in Surah At-Tawbah. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إنما المشركون نجس فلا يقربوا المسجد الحرام بعد عامهم هذا. Oh, you who believe, the idol worshippers, they are impure, they are filthy, so they should not come near al-Masjid al-Haram after this year of theirs. Ikhwat al-Islam, ibad Allah, what is not intended by filthy here is that the mushrikeen smell bad, or that they walk around with displaying or having garments that are soiled with filth, and thus forth and so on. No, what is intended by this is that their hearts were filled with the impurity of shirk and kufr, the impurity of polytheism and disbelief in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And this impurity, it is so severe that for the one that returns to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala with this type of filth, then this type of filth does away with all of his good deeds. He will have no good deeds when he meets Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. As Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says, teaching us, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And it has been revealed to you, meaning the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like it was revealed to those that came before you, from Nuh alayhi salam, and Ibrahim, and Ishaq, and Ismail, on to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that if you associate a partner in worship with Allah, then your actions will be made null and void, and you will be from amongst the losers. You will be from amongst those humiliated in the next life. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says, ذَلِكَ هُدَى اللَّهِ يَهْدِي بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ. That is the guidance of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. He guides whomever He wills from amongst His servants. وَلَوْ أَشْرَقُوا لَهَبِطَ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. And if they associate a partner in worship with Allah, then their actions will be made void, yani that which they used to do. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He states, مَا كَانَ لِلْمُشْرِكِينَ أَنْ يَعْمُرُوا مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ شَاهِدِينَ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ بِالْكُفْرِ. He states that it is not for the polytheists to maintain the houses of Allah while they bear witness against themselves with kufr or disbelief in Allah. أُولَٰئِكَ حَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ وَفِي النَّارِ هُمْ خَالِدُونَ. They are those whose actions are worthless, made null and void, and they are in the fire, abiding therein forever. Abiding therein forever. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says, وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. And when we came to that which they used to do, yani of good and bad, then we will make it like scattered dust. We will make their actions, their deeds, like scattered dust. These particular narrations at Ibadallah are emphasis, or emphasize us protecting our hearts from the filth of disbelief and polytheism. For the one that allows his heart to be stained with this filth, then it can have dire consequences. It can have dire consequences. For this reason, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stated, أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةٌ فَإِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. Indeed, there is in the body a muscle. And if the whole body is corrected or rectified. However, if it is corrupted, then the whole body is corrupted. أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبِ. And indeed, it is the heart. It is the heart. So protect your hearts from the blemish of shirk and kufr by making sure, ensure that one puts forth all acts of worship. You're making the acts of worship purely, strictly, solely, and sincerely for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala alone. And with that, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wa aqimu as-salat.